because when I came home after 8 years, I paroled out to my brother's walk-in closet.
I still got 3 years of parole left.
Try to 11, disregard your backup is arriving on another call.
Ruben?
Yeah. Toby Potter.
What's happening? How you been, dog? You still got those boots on?
Yeah. Andy said I had to kiss you on the forehead the same way he introduced me.
Hi there, how are you? It's good to see you. How you doing?
How are you?
Good to see you.
You a hugger too?
We're all huggers.
Yeah, what-
Huggers?
You can't be in the self-help space and not hug.
I know you were in prison or
I
something.
was.
It looked like you were in prison.
4 years actually in the feds. I was supposed to do 7.
Were you a shot caller?
Whatever they said I was. None of it's true, and a lot of it is true, but they spin it so that it's just ridiculous what they do.
But Come Change Your Life is your website,
It is.
and the tour is called what?
It's a BTBY tour, so it's Becoming the Better You. Becoming the Better You is what it is. So we call it BTBY.
And Things by Bren.
That was my personal website a long time ago, and it's just still there.
From Felon to Fabulous.
That's the show you're going to be doing with us.
That's a
afterwards.
podcast.
It is. And that, actually, I was going to do From Felon to Fabulous first, but I was still kind of not embracing my story. So I went with Becoming Better You. And I met this guy, and he told me that I had to change things up a little bit.
What do you do?
So we work together. I'm a speaker trainer. I do a lot of international work, but I met her at one of my events, and she was in the audience, kind of quiet, and she wanted to speak to me. And I remember talking with her, and it was kind of simple. She had been in prison, and you know, that can affect people psychologically because they make the mistake of thinking that what they did is who they are, and it's not. It's just something you've done, and
What they allegedly did.
right. Especially. Well, and you know, I don't know all the particulars to her case, but I do know my original degree is criminal justice. What is it? On law enforcement and corrections. I wanted at one time to work for the federal government, but I do know that they will put whatever pressure is necessary to get you to say whatever you need to say to get the outcome that they're looking for. And it's not always authentic. It's not always right. And that's why you see convictions that get overturned and changed. I mean, there had to be something wrong in the beginning because you're taking imperfect people and putting them into a system, and then everybody thinks that the system is perfect. How could it be? And how could the outcomes be when you're using imperfect people? And we even see law enforcement officials that get charged with crimes, taking money, taking bribes. And so, you know, what I told her was there's a difference between who you are and what you've done, and you've got to get to living what your calling is going forward, not worried about what happened going backwards. Sometimes that's challenging.
When you met her, is that what she was doing?
I was stuck.
She was stuck.
I was stuck. I was thinking that's who I was. Now I had this big label, and I was never going to overcome that. So then I decided, you know what, people are in prison that never went. They're right here. They don't think they're good enough, fear, doubt, insecurities, what other people think, and it stops them. And I was one of them, and I said, no more. So that's how we started.
Right.
An event after
And you're a
event.
speaker trainer, so you taught her how to get up on stage and tell her story?
Yeah,
It's taught me multiple things.
yeah, that, and you know, the main thing is, you know, so many times people want to speak, but they're self-conscious because they're thinking about themselves. And I always tell them, if you were going down the street and you saw a 5-year-old girl skipping with headphones on and she was about to run out into traffic, would you stop her? Of course I would. Would you yell at her? Yeah. Would you scream? Yeah. Would you move your hands? Yeah. Would you care what you look like? No. Why? Because I'm trying to save her life. Exactly. So once you take the stage and you're trying to affect somebody else's life, you forget about yourself. You're not thinking about what do I look like? What do I sound like? Because in the end, there's going to be people that resonate with you and there's going to be people who don't. And you're trying to reach your audience. You're trying to get their attention so that you can move to them to change in some way. And I did an event in Nairobi, Kenya last year, and both of these two were on my stage. And what was great.
You guys went clear to Kenya?
Yeah,
Oh, I've been there this will be my 4th year, but my 5th time.
Dedication right there, big dog.
Yeah. Yee! But you know what's great is, and this is what I've always said, is that there's going to be people that love you that think I'm okay. They're going to love you but think we're okay. And there's going to be a few that may like me. My point is, if we weren't all there, everybody doesn't get what they need because everybody's not going to be attracted to me no matter what I say or what I do. But there's some people that are just going to be attracted to you, your story, what you've been through, and it's going to be the catalyst to get them to make that change. Yeah.
And sometimes it can be the combination.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I think it is the combination. Number one, when, especially her, she loves to get on stage and says, here's a few things about these people and tell us which one it is. And if she says somebody's been to prison, no one ever thinks it's her. Maybe this guy. No, I'm kidding.
Well, at the youth event, they thought you were one.
Yeah.
Was it Toby? Yeah! Was it Brendan? No!
Right.
It was funny. We've spoken to over 25,000 youth in the last 2 years. Just going around different schools, letting them see they have a value and purpose in a
So
world.
if I'm on your podcast, what are you asking me?
Aren't you a felon?
No.
What are you?
Human being.
There you go. That's why you're on the podcast. We want people to see that not everybody's going to be judging them because they're a felon. And we share stories of triumph.
In my opinion, everyone's a felon. Just
Oh,
some
you're
got
not
caught.
right.
Exactly.
You're right.
Some have a public record, some don't.
We're just going to have
And
a
I really do
conversation
believe
about
that.
that.
I mean, look at our president. He's got 32 felonies.
That's right.
He's the president of the United States. Okay. The ones before him aren't felons necessarily, but they should be.
They're on the way.
They might be soon,
They're on
but
the way.
even though like Bill Clinton and Obama, I think, admitted to felonious activity.
Well, we know Hillary has many times.
Smoking weed and freaking, if they smoked it, they probably dealt it back.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure. There's a lot of
Distributed.
stuff.
Who hasn't?
That's right.
But at the end of the day, I always think, that I'm normal, when in reality, people hear my story, they're like, dang, wasn't that everybody? Like, isn't that everything?
But I think that's the message. I think that so many people, because she has a public record, because others have public record, it sets them apart.
Well, dude, I have a public record.
I know.
It's just so old, nobody
Right.
finds it.
It's
But-
tough to find, but
and I
that's
don't,
what,
and I don't use it from a
as a
look what
platform.
I've done.
Right.
Right.
Point of
I
view.
didn't want it out there, and it's not that I was hiding it. It was just the first thing that came up when you Googled me. Now it's not. It still comes up, but now
How old is it?
it's 8 years. I got out when I was 50. I'll be 58 this summer.
Dang,
I
girl,
went
what'd
in
you
at
do? See, I want to
46.
find out about that.
Yeah, you
Okay,
want
we'll
to
talk about it.
Yeah, I'm
show
gonna interview about that. You might be thinking, what's this got to do with this? But it all leads up to it.
Yeah, that's fine. However you
Yeah,
wanna
so
do
at the
it.
end of the day, you want to sell tickets and people that want to better their life and
We want them to come to our events. Some of our events are free. They're all great pricing anyways. Then we have services, we have coaches, we have people that we work with. So we promote a lot of Toby
That
services.
sounds like a good
Yeah.
group.
It really
Good
is. We
group of
tell
folks,
people we
especially
don't
if you got
compete.
Toby in there.
Yeah. You're not supposed to let them know that. We tell people we don't compete, we collaborate. And if you can't get on board with that, then you're not.
You don't compete, you collaborate.
We collaborate with people
You
because
probably
we all
got
do the
that
same
from me,
thing.
didn't you?
What's that?
I showed her the podcast. I said, use this tagline. It's one of Brad's.
We've been saying that for a while.
Yeah.
But it's true. And if you're here to compete
You
with us,
know
you're not
how
our
the sun
people.
goes up and down?
Mhm.
That's me. That's how I started that.
Oh,
Whole
okay.
sun thing. I'm joking.
I know.
He's over going.
I was not going to
talk
chime
about-
in on that one, Brad.
because I always think everything's my idea.
Yeah.
I said that. I did that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my idea. Like the sun coming up and setting. That's me. But yeah, so yeah, I do believe in collaborate too. It's crazy because you have to kind of look back and realize instead of like no one taught me that. I just kind of realized it. And then some people will say, "Oh, you're full of shit."
And you might
I like
be.
to dominate. But if I would have tried to dominate, I might not be where I'm at because,
That's right.
and we can talk about it on this, and you can tell people I'm a felon. I don't hide it, but I also don't talk about it. Like yours might be the first time I actually go into
Voice
it.
it, yeah.
I mean, I've mentioned it. Like I don't hide it. There's this goofball page called Baller Busters.
Yep.
Yeah, they were trying to bust me real quick, and so they're like, he's got a felony from 1921, and I'm like, so they're like, he's trying to hide it from people. I'm like, dude, I'm not hiding anything. How'd you find it, dipshit?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Well, it's not on the internet. I'm like, that's not my doing, bitch. That's time.
Right. That's right. 100%.
Right? Like there wasn't an internet back then, dummy.
Right. And people have to dig. Somebody has to really have nothing else to do to go dig into your past that far back to dig that up. That's either a hater or somebody just trying to get a platform.
Not to mention, listen, I mean, I can explain it. That's the whole thing. Like, what happened is, in a nutshell, I moved here, 21 years old from I was 20 at the time, from Oregon, small town boy dreaming of the big leagues. Came in here and all of a sudden I met these two dudes, roughly my age, a little bit older, but basically in their 20s, driving the Benzos and the Raris, and I'm like, holy moly.
I want that, yeah.
What do y'all do? And they were doing what's called telemarketing, which, by the way, a million telemarketing companies were doing it and didn't get in any trouble, and some of them got in trouble. So long story short, they just impressed me with what they had, and I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. And so we were hanging out and showing up at their parties, and just got to know them. And they said, "Hey, you want to start one with us?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They said, "Okay, let's go make a company, and you can be the president." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'm a president now." And so I became the president, and then we went and rented an office and got licensed with the state and had a Better Business Bureau and Consumer Affairs, had all the licensing. I'm thinking it's just a business, which it was. If I really do still, like, if someone asked me, like, Brad, do you really think they were breaking the law? I don't, even though maybe they were, but like, in my opinion, no, they were calling stupid people. And, is that against the law to prey on stupid people? Well, apparently.
Obviously.
But it shouldn't be.
Prisons would be full.
If you call me and tell me the truth and I'm dumb enough to give you 20 grand, and then they say I broke the law.
Yeah. Right.
Dude, anyway, I don't want to get into that, but we can on your show is my point.
Yeah.
So long story short, I had my name on the paperwork, and then they were like doing some telemarketing prior to me, obviously, and after me, because after about a week, I said, this isn't working. I still ain't made no money. I still ain't closed nobody on the phone, because we were basically asking for donations. It wasn't even a sale. It was like, will you donate? And I didn't make any money in 4 days. And I had spent about a week or two getting it all set up. So like, it's been like 3-4 weeks and I haven't made any money. And I got a brand new baby. I got to make some money. They weren't giving me any of their money, but they were helping me make my own with them. So again, they didn't owe me anything, so I just quit. I said, dude, guys, I ain't got time. I got to go make some money. I said, I love what you're doing, which I didn't. It was dumb. I couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out how this is ever going to work, calling people and begging for donations. Like, no. So I quit and then went just back to the car business and, made money that way and just forgot about it. And figured, I didn't know I was supposed to officially shut down a company. They were welcome to continue it. I just left. So about 4.5 years later,
Wow.
I get a knock on my door, and I open the door, and there's two dudes in a suit. Right? And I'm like, "What's up?" And I got a Tech 9 on a strap hanging off the door handle. I had a Mossberg street sweeper. You know what those are?
Oh yeah, the shotgun.
I had a Mossberg street sweeper to the left of the door. Like, I loved me some guns. I had guns all over the place. And again, who knows? Maybe God intervened, because the direction would have been bad had I kept guns. Because, dude, I was drinking and partying, and I thought I was cool. I can go into a million stories where one night I woke up, and I lived in an apartment, and I had kicked my buddy in his balls and blew through 16 grand and went outside and in my apartment complex, and I didn't even remember the night before. And outside was was my shotgun, my 9mm, a bunch of $100 bills wadded up, like, I was wondering where
Wow.
the money went. It's outside with these guns, and I was told that I was
Holy cow.
freaking, brandishing. Like maybe that's why it all happened. You never know, though,
You
right?
never know.
Anyway, long story short, they came and I said, "What's up?" And they said, "Do you know these guys?" I said, "Well, yeah." They said, "Well, you know what they're doing?" I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Well, you need to tell us what you were doing." I said, "We were making phone calls asking for donations." "That's all you know?" I'm like, "Because that is all I know." And they're like, "Well, that's not necessarily what they were doing." And I said, "Well, I don't know what they were doing. We were doing this, and I don't know them very well. I just met them. They were rich. I wanted to do this." I told them my story. So they said, "Okay, well, we'll let you know if there's anything to talk about." And I said, "Cool. Is that it?" They said, "Yep." I left. I thought that was it. I was just questioned. So then about maybe 2 weeks later,
No way.
knocking again, 7:30 in the morning. So I freaking open the damn door, and it's them again. And I go, what's up, dude? Like, I was impressed because they were FBI. I always wanted to be a cop, so like, these guys are my heroes. And they go, "Turn around. You're under
That's
arrest."
all you got was those two? Because I had 14 with guns drawn.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get to your
At every
story.
door of
I
my
wanna
house.
know- I want to know why and how. What the hell? Are
Maybe
you
it's that concealed carry I
like that Griselda? Were you like Griselda or whatever?
You heard of Queen of the South, right? There she is.
Have you ever seen Justified?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, were you that lady?
Sure.
Remember that? You know what you see?
I love that. Yep.
That's a great actress. She was like the mom.
She was tough.
But anyway, so they arrested me, brought me down, let me go like 8 hours later on my own cognizance, and basically I was charged with mail fraud, wire fraud.
Really.
Yeah,
Which is
because they
federal.
would get people to send checks in the mail.
Oh yeah, federal offense.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm just sitting there, and so I get a lawyer, and the lawyer basically says, "Oh, you're screwed." I'm like, "I didn't do anything." He's like, "Yeah, you did." And I'm like, "I need a new lawyer." So I grab another lawyer, and the lawyer goes, "Yeah, you're screwed." And I said, "No, I'm not. I didn't do anything." And he goes, "Well, you don't need to have done anything. They did a bunch of things, and you're with them." And I said, "Well, then I want my own freaking trial. Not how
I
it
was
works."
lucky to do that.
I know, but he
Yeah.
said you can't. I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm a citizen. I get my own trial." That's not how it works. And so I couldn't get my own trial. And then, so I finally got rid of that lawyer. I said, no, I'm getting me another one. So then I finally got one of the best attorneys ever. And he basically came in and said the same thing. And he said, "Brad, listen, everybody in the case knows you didn't do anything. The FBI reports knows that you were used as a pawn. Everybody is totally aware that you're a dipshit
Yeah.
that put your name on some paperwork. But at this point, it doesn't matter."
Wow.
He said, "You can catch lightning in a bottle and plead not guilty and try to freaking beat this. But if you lose, they're going to be asking for like 12 years. And I said, 12 years for what? But
Yep.
Windows, they didn't have a choice. It's federal guidelines. And
That's
because
exactly
of
what it is.
because of the charges that are just whacked up against, they charge you with 100 things. I had no choice. So I said, "So what happens if I plead guilty?" They said, "Well, then you'll get 6 months house arrest, maybe some restitution." And I said, "Well, that don't sound too bad.
Right.
I'll do that."
Can live with that.
So I pleaded guilty, even though I was not.
Yeah. Wow.
And so after that, I was technically a felon.
Right.
No more guns, no more nothing. But it didn't affect me. I went and did 15 months in a low camp, like a camp.
Oh, is that what you got was camp?
Which
I
which
would have
one
went to
was-
camp, but
Kevin Trudeau was on my podcast.
I know Kevin.
And Kevin,
I used to do nutrition
Kevin-
for life with him.
well, Kevin was trying to pretend that because he was at a camp and he was trying to tell me how dangerous it was. I'm like, "Bro, you were at a camp."
Yeah.
He goes, "You don't understand." I'm
Try
thinking,
maximum
"Yeah, I do. Yes, I do." But no, he was at a camp. You know how we escaped if we wanted to?
Walk across the line.
Yeah, you call a cab.
Walk out the front
Yes,
door.
it's true.
Dude, you literally, I watched people do it. They called the cab and walked right past the front gate and got in a cab, and the guards were sitting there watching. As soon as they drove off, they'd call. I'm like, "Why are you stopping them?" They're like, "We're not allowed to stop them." but now they're fugitives, and now
Right.
they're
Now they're
going
gonna
to
go
real
to,
prison.
that's right.
So I never went to a real prison, thankfully. I was on a softball team and got freaking 15 months to work out and have no bills. It was actually quite nice. But I don't really consider myself a felon because, again, I didn't do that. But technically, yeah, I guess I'm a felon in that regard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a presidential Trump, or a presidential
A
pardon.
pardon. Good luck
Yeah,
with that.
but, well, it's like $1 million. So
Is it really?
if you want to pay $1 million, I can get you a pardon.
Yeah.
I can get me a pardon.
Yeah.
They don't pardon everybody, but I definitely qualify for a pardon. I should be pardoned regularly, but it's a game. They're selling pardons. And see, that's a fucking felony.
That is a felony.
Like, what are you doing, asshole?
Why should we even have the system if they're not gonna use it the way it should be? So just give me $1 million and I'll.
I was thinking about running for government because, again, that's the top level criminal. Like, all you got to do is be in the right position. You are above the law. And when they say no, they're not. Yes, they are.
They are.
Period.
100%.
Why wouldn't all those pricks be in jail right now, or at least freaking prosecuted for some things? They're not. Hillary Clinton is walking around like she's a freaking.
She
Debutante.
is. You're right. She's walking around after all the crimes she's committed. She's still
Openly.
walking. Yeah.
People have proof of it.
Proof of it, and she has no fear.
They told her you can't destroy that evidence. She destroyed
Destroys
the
it,
evidence.
period. They needed her cell phone. She went into hiding for 30 days while she destroyed every cell phone she had, and then she came back out and said, "Oh, I don't know where my phones are." I mean,
Yeah, if you'd have done that.
yeah,
Prison.
prison in seconds.
Yeah, so it's unfair. So I can talk for days on yours, but I don't know what you're going to ask about. But yeah, that's the stupid story. But it didn't affect me. So if you're more about, well, look at you now. Well, if that's the message we're looking to.
That's the message. It doesn't matter what your past was.
And it really doesn't. It doesn't matter if I
That's right.
really did do it. It doesn't
Right.
matter if I actually
It's the
murdered
perception.
people on a real basis. The question is what am I going to do today and moving
There you
forward?
go.
Like Don King.
With the light.
Huh?
It was Don King.
Was he down for murder?
Yeah, he's down for murder, getting people to fight. And so when he came out, he said, that's why he keeps saying, only in America. Only in America could you get locked up for murder and come out and be a multi-millionaire and put these fights together and make this money. That's why he always says, only in America.
Yeah.
Because that's his thing.
It's not wrong. You can't do that in Africa.
No, but it sounds to me
Why? What
like,
would they do in Africa?
They will hang you up on the streets and string you up like for
Why?
You're not coming out.
you have no tolerance.
Well, I think we should adopt that here.
Yeah, they have no tolerance.
Yeah, like if you murder someone on accident, but if you're a straight murderer,
You don't even
But-
have to go that bad. I'm sorry.
you,
You
you
No, but I
should
was
have,
just
you
saying-
should have time out permanently.
I was just saying, you said that you pled guilty. But it sounded to me more like you pled guilty by association. Not, I mean, in the end, you didn't do the crime, and they know you didn't do the crimes, but you were guilty of associating with these individuals.
Correct.
And through that association, you have to do this. What did they get, the other two?
One got 7 years, but they fought it. One got 7 years, and the other one got like 6.
Hard time, federal time.
No,
Not
they,
in a
they were,
camp.
they were in the same place I was.
They were at the same camp for 7 years.
It was longer.
Wow.
I did all my time in maximum security.
I want to know what you did.
Same thing you did.
What?
I was guilty by association. I was guilty of a lot of things I didn't get charged for though.
Well, you know what? That's also true for me, which is why, when I went, I'm like, you know what? We're going to call this even Steven. Yep. In my mind, I said, okay, paid in full, suckers. Because I did way more shit than you don't even know about, which
And we don't want you digging
allegedly
into.
is the truth. Like, I used to be a guy that, I was like a diabolical. I didn't screw people. I screwed kind of companies.
Right.
Like, I'd go in and take orders from friends and family on anything you wanted out of a store, and then I'd fill that order, and my cost was amazing.
$3.99.
$3.99, and my margins were 100%.
That's right.
And they kept going like, dude, how are you doing this? And I'm like, man, don't worry about it. What do you need? Give me 6 pair of Levi 501s. I'm like, okay, give me the cash, $10 each or whatever I was charging. and they'd give me the cash, and I'd freaking go to the mall and come back with 5 pair of Levi's. There you have them. Drills, electric razors, VCRs, like just new retail merchandise. I didn't burglarize houses or anything crazy, but well, I did once, but I didn't do it, my friend did. I would never get into like criminal to people, like burglarizing a house to me, like you're stealing from that person.
Yeah.
Stealing from a store was like, didn't really count to me. But yeah, when I was younger, and then I turned 18 and realized like, dude, the consequences are much different now. So I slowed that down to a big degree, but I was still kind of angling. So I found receipts on the floor, and it says on the receipt what was purchased. So I just go into the store and grab the shit, go up and get my money back. And they'd give it to me. And one time, I was only like nabbed one time for that. And because in my mind, my criminal stupid mind was, number one, I never left the store with any merchandise. How can that be theft? Right?
Right. Deceptive trade practice.
Well, I didn't leave the property. How are you saying I stole it? You know, and so when they nabbed me, I didn't realize. I mean, I was thinking like, well, I didn't even leave the store, and so they weren't talking, and they kept me in this room at the store for like 2 hours. Then they came and they let me go.
Right.
And later on, my friend knew the person at the store, and they said, you know, hey, what happened? What, you know? And they said, oh, they thought he was washing counterfeit money.
Oh.
They thought I was coming in using counterfeit money and then coming back and getting my
With items.
clean money back.
Yeah.
So they thought I
Buying
was.
the items with counterfeit.
That's what they
returning
thought
it.
I was doing.
That's
but
a pretty good plan.
Yeah, but I wasn't. Apparently, somebody was doing that.
Yeah, obviously.
But it wasn't me.
Yeah.
But what's funny is like, I didn't pay for it at all.
Right.
Like I just walked in and I saw a receipt that said X amount for $239. I just go grab. It has serial numbers. You could see from the tag, and I mean it was not hard to do. And I just take it off the shelf and roll up there and do it. And then I evolved that into anything I wanted turned out to be free. Why? Because I actually did buy everything, but I put a duplicate in another spot. So if I was getting a blender, I'd get a blender. I put another blender over here. So I had 2 piles of the exact same items in a store. So this is all alleged, by the way.
11-10-4. Try to 11, disregard your backup is arriving on another call.
So I would put 2 different piles of 2 different things, you know, at the store, and I'd go legitimately pay for one with the receipt, because that's what I wanted, was that receipt, and then I'd go out and put it in my trunk. Freaking, now that it's in my trunk, okay, and I own that, I'd go back into the store, grab it, thinking they can't get me for theft because I did not leave the store with these things. And then I'd go back up and go, you know what, my wife said, or, you know, my girlfriend told me, and, you know, I need my money back. And they'd go, oh, no problem, because I just bought it with the same person. So they had no idea what was going on. So I evolved it, and I got a little sneakier and sneakier and sneakier. And then, like I said, I turned 18 and realized consequences were different. And it was funny because my buddy, who, by the way, I gave him, you know what, that's funny. Maybe that, I've just realized that maybe that's the reason I just lost a bunch of money with him. He came to me way later, because I've known him forever. He wanted to buy an RV dealership, so I funded it and ended up losing $1.2 million. Dumbass. But I forgot that he's also the one that I did this to.
Did that with him?
Yeah, so like he was, he wanted to move into an apartment. I'm like, dude, I know how we can get the whole place filled up and I'll get all your money back, because he had money. And he goes, what do you, how? I'm like, you just do this. And he goes, okay. And he just believed me. And so we filled up the whole house with everything, spent like $8,000, and my plan was to, you know, go do the return thing, get all his money back, and everything's free. Well, he bought it, and then I wasn't really as eager to go get the return thing, because, you know, consequences. Yeah, like at some point I just grew up to where I just stopped doing those things. This was more of a kid up, and then I got to a certain age, and I'm like, I don't know about doing this anymore, and it was right when he bought everything legitimately. So basically he got stuck with paying for it all, because I never did go return anything. I just kept going, no, dude, I don't know. It's not right.
So when I was a kid, when I turned 16, I had to grow up on a dairy farm and had no money, but I got my first car. And back then they had, in the town that I grew up in, they had guys that come out and pump your gas for you. So I had this one gas station. I would pull up and say, "Hey, put $5 in it," and then I'd go in and I'd buy a bag of M&Ms on the counter. So I'd go up there and pay it. So he would see me at the counter, and I'd come out and go. And I did that for like a long time. And of course, he never, the guy went in there. I saw him at the register, saw somebody paid, and then. This has gone on for a long time, and about once a week, because about $5 would last about a week, and $5 gas. And one time I pulled in there, I said, "Hey, $5." He goes, "Oh, okay," does it. And I go in there, and then they kind of stall me at the register. And I'm like, "Hey, I need to pay for this," and they're talking on the phones amongst themselves, blah, blah, blah. And then finally they take my money and I leave. And the guy had finished up pumping the gas, had gone in and confirmed whether I paid or not. And found out that I did, and come out and stop me and made me cipher it all out. Of course, when you cipher gas then, you drink a lot. Yeah. And so, but I asked him, I said, "So, how did you catch me?" He said, "You were pulling a pretty good scam." He said, "The only way I caught you was the other day when you were here, I knew you had bought $5 worth of gas, and another guy had bought $5 worth of gas, but he paid me with a 10, so I went in to get change. And I asked them for the $5 that you just gave him, and they said he just bought M&Ms. So we didn't know for sure, but then we had to play it out more time. I'm like, damn, you can't do a scam in the same spot.
Well, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
So, but
Do you have a felony?
I do not. I've been in jail probably 20 times. One of them almost got a felony through bootlegging. In college, but because of my college degree, because of the people that I knew, I was just
white privilege.
White privilege. Yeah, I got busted for bootlegging 22 kegs for a party.
That's another thing, dude. I used to work at a place that sold kegs, and every Friday I'd let my buddies roll 2 of them out the back door.
At the back door, yeah. Yeah.
They roll real easy.
Well, so I worked in college. And college was tough because I was bringing myself up through college and all that. You're talking about how you would get items from stores, and I worked at a Ethan Allen furniture store, and one of the things they had was they had VCRs, they had TVs, they had furniture, but they had all these appliances. And so I was a delivery kid. I'd come into college and I'd jump in, they'd have the delivery van hooked up, and they had 2 locations to pick the furniture up and load it up and take it. And so one of them, I could load my own stuff. I do pick up this TV, this VCR, this vacuum cleaner, whatever. And I'd always grab a couple more than it was on the order, because I was also in charge of inventory every Friday. So I would pick up an extra VCR, extra TV. Of course, my house had a TV in every room, a VCR in every room that I never paid for. But then my buddy's like, "Man, can you get me one?" I'm like, yeah, $100, I can get you. And I don't think it was that much back then. But so I was funneling, items to my buddies through that. And then one day, I wasn't there to do inventory. I think I had a wrestling tournament to be at, and they did inventory. And they came back and said, "Hey, our numbers don't match yours from last week or any previous week. Where's the items that are now?" They're like 20 items missing. And I said, "Well, half of them is at my house."
See, and that's what the real course needs to be for criminals.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah, because I confessed. And he said, "Well."
Never do that.
Yeah, he said, "So you got a choice." He said, "You can bring me it all back, or you can work for me for free." I said, "Let me go get what I got, because I can't work for free, and then we'll figure out the rest." So I gave him, I think I had a pretty good stack, because I was just basically now selling them out of my house as guys can come up with the money. I gave him back some of it and then said, "You can fire me, or we can just move on." So.
Well, again, your first mistake was admitting.
Yeah.
So a lady came to me and said, "Hey, where's all this shit?" I said, "I take a week off and you guys get this all jacked up? What the hell's going on? Where is this stuff?
Yeah.
How the hell would I know? It was here last week."
I need a raise.
Well, dude, it was here last week.
That's right.
I took it
Yeah,
before.
here's
This
this
shit was
shit.
here. So when you say 2 weeks ago, it doesn't match. Dude, 2 weeks ago, everything was on point.
It was on point.
Dude,
Yeah,
where did shit go? That's what we need to figure out now. And I ain't leaving until I do. So we're working.
So I have a
overtime
new
if we
title
have to.
now. I'm a head investigator of where all this missing shit is.
What's overtime pay? I ain't going home till I get to the bottom of it.
But yeah, many stories. I consider trade stories with you all day.
And then I was gonna be I wanted to be a cop, all that type of thing ruined it, but a DUI really ruined it.
We are.
The third one really ruined it, but I wanted to be a cop, but and then I was,
Two did nothing.
nope. And then I also think to myself, because back when I got DUIs, it was kind of like, don't do that.
Right.
It wasn't a major thing.
Right.
I got the third one and it was like, actually I got the third one, they treated it like a second again. So I got 3, but they traded the third one like a second because the third one, you were supposed to lose your license and like they're going to actually do something this time. But the judge liked me, maybe white privilege. 'Cause
Again?
The judge just he said, listen, I'm going to treat this like it's your second, but it's your third. You give me another one, son, you're in trouble. So I said, okay, never got another one after that. But I wanted to be a cop and I thought to myself, because I always think back, like, what if I would have been? I might have gotten in some serious trouble.
Right.
Because my ethics were not in check then.
Right.
And I would have probably found somebody with like, let's say 10 kilos of coke, and I'd have turned them in with the 8-ball I found them with. Right? And then they'd be like, he'd be like, what's he gonna say? No, it was 10 keys.
No, it wasn't an 8-ball. It was 10 kids.
If back then, if I was a cop at that age, I probably would have misused the badge.
Right.
And I know myself back then,
Yeah.
dude, that would have got me in some serious trouble. So, or killed, or whoever, who
Right.
knows? Like,
Never know.
to me, I'm like, I don't regret anything. I regret pleading guilty. If I could go back, I probably have pled not guilty. Because I don't see how I could have freaking been found guilty.
Right. Especially in front of a jury.
Yeah, and another friend of mine, who is still a friend today, he was kind of in the same boat, and he pled guilty, man. And he fought it for like a long time, and they found him not guilty.
Yeah.
And he was technically guilty.
Well, this is like I said. I've been in jail a couple of times. I've probably been in court for business purposes. A jury almost gets it right every time. A jury almost gets it right every time because the facts are the facts, and the jury is just as human as you are, just as human as I am, and they can see themselves in that situation and know I probably would have done the same thing without ill intent. Or no, that's ill intent. They're guilty. They set out to do this harm. He didn't set out to do this harm. She didn't set out to do this harm. And they get it right most of the time when a jury hears the true whole story.
Yeah, well, from what my lawyers told me, they wouldn't have got my story.
That's
They
the
would have
problem.
heard their story,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't have heard from me at all. And when they said guilty,
Yeah.
the whole
Part of it.
party is guilty.
Right,
And
right.
so that's what was the
Yeah, the separation would have been your golden goose.
they wouldn't
yeah.
let me do that. Otherwise, that's my only regret. Like, I don't regret, being there and, because that's what led you to here.
Well, that's what God had a plan, and now you have an immense story to resonate and share with multitudes around, and you
I
are
wish
who you
though-
are
I
today.
wish though we could see what would have happened. Like
Yeah.
a crystal ball.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh, thank God I went to prison.
Yeah.
What? Thank God. Because, like, you never know.
You never know.
But I justify it, like you said. Like, I said, okay, I didn't do this, but let's consider this.
Let's don't go any deeper into the
Well, I just figured,
investigation.
hey, listen, this is clean slate. Like, clean slate. And obviously, when I got out of there, I still wasn't like freaking old. I was like, shit, this was 98 maybe? Maybe 28, 29.
Still young enough to start.
Yeah, so since then I was like, I'm never doing anything to go to jail ever again. And now, like, dude, don't tell me about nothing. If you're thinking about robbing the bank,
I don't
you
wanna
better shut up. Even if we talk about it, that's
Right.
conspiracy. Like, dude,
You're lucky you didn't get conspiracy.
yeah, like, I don't want nobody, like, if you're a criminal, don't talk to me. Don't even come around me. What are you, a rat? Well, I might be.
Might be.
Don't talk to me.
My office is wired, so hey,
Yeah, now I wouldn't do, like, I literally joke and say, like, I'm the closest thing to an angel walking the planet. Because, like, I wouldn't screw anybody for anything. Business, person, anything for anybody. Period.
I tell people that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I never want to go back because I would not be doing what I'm doing now. I'd still be doing what I was doing
The other
before.
day, someone got out, and they'd been a while, and I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, could you ever see yourself like doing shit again? Remember what he said?
Yeah, he said, probably not me.
Yeah, he was in there hemming and hawing.
Really?
See, dude, you didn't
So
learn
you
You
do
anything.
get a transformation. Now,
If you ain't like, I will
rehabilitate.
never
Yeah.
do shit,
Absolutely.
then you're probably heading back
Yeah.
because you didn't learn. So I learned my lesson, and I grew up. So I think between time and learning and knowing that I do not like being told what to do, and in prison they tell you what to do.
Every day.
And not only do you have to navigate the guards, you got to navigate the inmates. That ain't fun either.
Yeah.
Because now there's politics. You got to you can't be a dumb shit in prison. Like in prison, you got to be like somewhat street savvy.
It's its own business in there.
Sure is. But when I got there, like I said, it's pretty funny because the first day I'm checking in, and by the way, I self-surrendered. I never heard of that either.
Oh, yeah.
They let you turn yourself in. I'm like,
I didn't get that.
you'd have gave me 10 years, I wouldn't have turned myself in. Because if they got to go get you and catch you and bring you back, you only get another 2 years.
Right.
So it's 10, turn yourself in, or 12 if we catch you. I'm like, I'll take that one.
Found me in Costa Rica.
You wouldn't have found me. Back then, you could get fake IDs easily.
Easy.
You basically look up a birth certificate of someone that you know, order their birth certificate, no one checked. DMVs were not linked up.
Yeah, there was no
He's just
internet.
speaking hypothetically.
Yeah.
This was factual.
No, I know.
I didn't say I did it. I just said you could.
Yeah.
But you could get fake IDs. I mean, you could literally assume dead people's identity. They wouldn't have found me, period. I wasn't famous. Nobody knew me. There was no social media.
Yeah.
There was no way that someone would have been, oh, that's Brad Lee. And I wasn't wanted bad enough to have bolos out. So, I would have just disappeared.
Yeah.
And right now I'd be like going, another, I wouldn't be here.
That's hilarious.
But you live and you learn, don't you?
Yeah.
You do. You do.
Well, I'm interested in your story because you were old enough to know.
I was. I'm still guilty by association.
See, I blame I was a youngster.
Yeah.
My
The very
life as
thing
a
I told my
juvenile,
kids
ran
not-
with a gang, slanged in the
See?
meanwhile. Banking. I specialized in ganking.
Gang.
Anyway,
The thing that you tell your kids not to do is what I did. Don't hang out with these people. Don't do this. You're going to ruin your reputation. And that's exactly what happened.
but you're innocent otherwise.
Oh, no, I'm guilty of a lot of things.
What was your charges for?
Bank fraud. Oh, I started off with 10 and ended up with 23. They superseded
Little bank
my indictment.
fraud?
Yeah.
Bouncing checks? What were we doing?
No, I had a business partner and we were buying a piece of real estate together. And he lied on his application and I did not. His goes in, mine goes in, I never see his. And our loan officer and him and the lady we were buying the building from were all friends. The loan officer lied to the loan committee. We should have never been approved for that loan. And
Whose application was falsified?
my partners.
And
And
why
I,
are you responsible?
because I benefited from the building.
But you didn't fill out the application.
I filled out my application and it was right, but where the trouble got into, they really didn't want me. They wanted somebody that he knew and I didn't even know him at the time. Yeah, they wanted me to talk.
Yeah, that's what they do too. Like whoever tells first gets the least amount of time.
And that's what I said, whoever talks, walks.
Well,
But I
back in
forgot 3
those
years.
days, I probably wouldn't have talked on them if I knew anything, but I didn't know anything either.
Well, I didn't talk because I didn't even know who the guy was.
Well, you did the right thing.
That's right.
You don't talk.
Yep, no, not,
Unless it's
no.
like nowadays, don't do anything criminal around me because I will not go to jail for people.
That's right.
But back then, I probably would have been,
Mhm.
snitches get stitches, can't tell on your brother.
Mhm.
But I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Because
well, I
they
didn't know
said, hey,
either.
listen, if you're willing to testify, we can get this all taken care of. And I said, I'll testify, but I just told you what I can testify to. I
They
don't
think
know
you're
anything.
lying.
I don't know what these guys have done. And I don't know that they really knew what they did. Because why are they asking me then? So, I don't want to get people in trouble. Like, if they already know you did it, that's different. If they didn't know about something, I'm not going to volunteer the
That's the way I
information.
was too, and I could have said more about my partner and other things, but I didn't. But my charges were from 2004. They didn't arrest me till 2014, 2 weeks before the statute of limitations was running out.
That's another thing. So I had 6 months, and it would have
Yeah.
been, they can't do nothing. It's
Yeah.
like they know. It's almost like an alarm clock goes
So
off.
when I got out, it was 15 years in the past. Now it's 22 years in the past. And we're still fighting that battle, unfortunately. But I find
22 years?
Yeah, it was 2004 when we bought that building. But then they just start throwing 20 million things at you. Something's going to stick.
Oh, when you got out?
Yeah, so I ended
8
up
years
getting
ago.
out with 3 charges about it.
So how much time did you have to do?
4 years. I was
That's
supposed
not-
to do,
that's not so bad.
well, they were looking at me for 30 because it was $6 million. And I had a $4.3 million restitution to pay back, which kind of comes in handy now because of some of the wealthier people who think they know everything and, I'm just a piece of crap. I finally said, that 4.3 million restitution that you keep throwing in my face, what'd you think I had to be worth to get the loan? Oh, okay then. And I just leave it there. So it kind of proves who I was and what I know how to do. And I could have came out and went right back into that industry and made the money back, but I would have been miserable, hence why I went to prison. I got involved with the wrong people. I love what I do now.
Do
I'm
you?
wealthy in other ways, I absolutely do.
All right, we'll investigate here in a moment.
That's okay, bring it on. Bring
So
it
I know
on.
the goal. I know the goal for my podcast. Yours, like, I'll just answer questions. I
Yeah, I'm
guess.
just gonna share some of your
The goal is to
story
like
and-
inspire people
Yeah.
to not feel sorry for themselves.
Well, the goal is that don't let your past stop you.
Do people do that?
Oh, yes, I was one of them. That's what we do, we help people to get unstuck through our events, letting them see they have a value, a purpose, a work.
Well, I know there's a lot of people with criminal backgrounds that follow me because sometimes I'll say, hey, if you want to come to work, go to this website, and I have an interactive thing that says, are you a felon? And if it hits yes, they can't do the thing I'm telling them about. So I say, don't worry, we believe in second chances, but put out your name, and I've had thousands of people fill that out. So there's thousands of people with criminal backgrounds that are probably mentally
It
stuck.
touches more people than people would think it was. I just want people to know that they can still have a life. That's just a label. Embrace the label. Do
Well,
something
are
with
you
it.
guys ready to do it?
Sure.
Let's go do it.
Or do you want to be the person that's helpful, that soothes, that loves? Because you can still stand tall and be as big as you want to be when you are this person.